Hi there, everyone. Sean Ali here, and today I actually have the great honor in interviewing Mr. Robert Hollis himself. Such an amazing mentor he is to me. And how's it going, Robert?
Blessed and highly favored. How are you, Sean?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Um, so yeah, Robert, let's tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm just an average guy, Sean, that attempted some above average things. Grew up in North Dakota, Montana, and all my friends and relatives are blue collar workers. They're electricians, plumbers. I was a model mechanic, and I just basically did what everybody else did. It's like I didn't know any better, so I'm out there trying to actually work hard enough and not having enough money at the end of the month and just constantly just doing the same stuff different day. And I didn't know any better. And so what happened is I got hurt and put on workman's comp. And all of a sudden, I was so leveraged because everything was on credit. So, without making payments, all of a sudden I had to, give up my toolbox. I put a loan on my car. So now I got the repo man looking for my car, and I was getting close to getting evicted. I was actually on workman's comp for about 9 months. And a friend of mine, I'll always say his name because the man had courage to reach out to me and talk to me. And he said, "Hey, Robert," his name was Sean Hennigan. And he said, "Robert, listen, I met this guy and I seen his check. It was attached to the stub. It was $62,000 a month." I was like, "Shut up." And he goes, "No, no, no, I seen it." And he's expanding a company and he's looking for people. They don't need any experience, and he'll mentor and train them how to make a full-time income. And I went, "Wow." And he goes, "You got to meet this guy." And I said, "Listen, I'll come pick you up." And so I went and met my mentor. And Sean, I didn't know what being an entrepreneur was. I didn't know what mentorship was. I didn't know what marketing was. I didn't know anything, as an auto mechanic. And so I went and met this man, and he was able to not only get me to understand it, but he also was able to get me to understand it to simplicity of how to make it work. Well, long story short, I made over $10,000 my very first 45 days with him. I made 258,000 my first year. Over 520 my second, 785,000 my third, and that was all before I was 30 years old. And so once I got that mentorship, Sean, I came to the point where I wanted to be able to teach other people what this man is showing me. And so now over the last 26 years, over half of my life, I've been involved in marketing, not only online and offline. And I've helped 45 people make over $1 million a year. I've made over $43 million myself. Now I have people virtually in every country, that I've shown how to do this online. And then I actually wrote a book, how is that working? That ended up going number one on a couple of things on Amazon. And so my deal is I've helped 45 people make $1 million a year, but now my goal is to help over 1,000 people. So I have a few years left, and I'm going to do my very best to help 1 million people for free, and inspire, mentor, and train them and show them how to do it. So, it was through one of those students that I taught, Scott Kloster, that met you online, and here we are. So very, very, very blessed.
And everyone, if you haven't read Robert's book, How is that working? Definitely pick it up. That book changed my life. So, great book. Thank you,
Oh,
Robert, for the
thank you
book.
for saying that. That blesses me. Thank you.
Um, so, as you were in the marketing industry, Robert, what would you say some of the hurdles you came across, some of the objections you came across?
I think the biggest hurdles is everyone had a mindset like me. I grew up that I call the phrase, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but Why to be a crew chief on a race car? I just wanted to be an auto mechanic. You know what I mean? And he's going, why do you need to be an auto mechanic? I was going, listen, it's stupid. If you got to have a job to make money, you got to pay, for food, you got to pay for gas, car insurance, car payment, you got to put a roof over your head. You got to get a job to make money. And he goes, no, you don't. You can just make money. Why don't you just skip the job thing? I was like, what the heck are you talking about? And so he immediately started sharing with me testimonials of other people that he had taken from, I call them misfits from Misfit Island because I was one of them. But he just took normal, average people that were waiters and, assistant preschool teachers and people that worked in the oil field and broke down auto mechanic. And he just showed me story after story after story of people that he helped make above average income. And I just went, man, I want to do that. I want to be that. So the only hurdles that I continue having to this day are people that are not open-minded to listening to a better way. And then people, once they get in, they give up on themselves, Sean. That still crushes me. I want to help everybody. I want everybody to win. But yeah, I don't know their upbringing. I don't know who they hang around. And so, sometimes it's really, really negative out there. Everybody's like, hey, Sean, you got this stupid pipe dream, but I'm sure that every entrepreneur and every professional athlete and every professional actor and singer were told the same stuff. You hear it in their story. I'm going to make $1 million. And they're like, you're out of your mind is what you are. And so
Absolutely.
yeah, so you hang around the right people and you get encouragement, you get inspired, you go out and make it happen, and then when you do, everybody looks at you and calls you lucky.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
bizarre. It's totally bizarre. So,
I agree. I always say you will become who you hang around with,
oh,
and the mindset over matter. It's everything. If you can put
totally.
your mind to it, you can do anything. So
Amen.
good job on that. So
Great
what would
question.
you say to a individual, let's say if you came across someone and you were trying to share your opportunity with them and they were just not open to it or were just bashing you because of previous experiences they had in the industry or if they didn't have the money or how would you respond to that?
Well, the one thing that I try to do in every conversation is try to take the conversation when they become, closed-minded or skeptical or like you said, bashing you or laughing at you. I try to immediately take that conversation away from what we're talking about and again come back to my personal story. So what I tell people all the time, even my very close friends and relatives that are not involved in what I'm doing, it's just not for them. Robert Kiyosaki that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Hmm.
talked about a strategy that there's 4 groups of people that you're going to run into every day. And some people are just comfortable, Sean. They're just very, very, very comfortable. They don't want to do anything else. So if someone that they know is doing better than them, then that makes them look like they're not trying. So that's the way they sort of lash out, because if Sean all of a sudden is surrounded by this group of family and friends and people that he knows, and now all of a sudden he's making above average income, that means he tried, that means they didn't. So they don't know how to deal with that. And then you got the people that will watch this video that are know-it-alls, and if they don't know that they're know-it-alls, just ask them, and they say, I know everything. And it's weird because you look at their lifestyle, and they don't know everything. You know what I mean? It's like they're not giving millions of dollars away to help children and feed children or giving $1 million away to Bill Austin, a friend of mine, gives $110 million away a year fitting kids with hearing aids all over the world that have never heard. And so, so everybody always hears these phrases that, wow, oh my God, the wealthy people, they're the bad people. And if you watch news, it's like they pin us against the rest of the world. And we're growing up in an economy right now in an environment where, listen, there's a 99% broke people and then there's the 1%ers. And I met a mentor that said, Robert, listen, why don't you just find out what the 1% is doing before you judge them? You know what I mean? And it's like, so I tell people all the time, people say money doesn't buy happiness. And I said, well, listen, neither does poverty. So I'd rather pick where I am than poverty. So I try to understand. I try, Sean, not to judge people and not to be so tough on them because they might have had a bad day or, like you said, a bad experience. So I try to use an analogy or a story or a parable that's outside of what they're talking about. So someone says, oh, I've tried these things and, I lost some money and, I just think these things are scams. And I say, wow, you know what? You're going to probably find this hard to believe. But in high school, I dated a couple of girls that no longer wanted to date me anymore. It was just the relationships didn't work out. And I said at that time, I could have said, you know what, I'm just not going to work on this relationship thing. But instead, what I did is I kept trying and I found a good spouse. And now we've been together for 30 years. So, so I tell them, have you ever had any bad relationships? And they go, yeah. And I go, well, why do you keep trying? And that sort of makes them think a little bit. I go, did you have more than one job? And they go, yeah. I go, why? That sounds stupid. And it's like, well, I didn't like where I was working. I wasn't getting paid enough money. It was too far away from where I work. Live. It's like, oh, so you kept trying. Why'd you stop?
Right.
That's what I tell them. You got your job right now. Why'd you stop looking? So there you go. So
That was a nice response, Robert. I like that. It actually opened my eyes up a little bit.
good.
Good. So in a short few sentences, what would you say is that what we do exactly? Like I always tell people, we actually get paid to make friends. So, elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, the short sentences I would do is funny because, again, I learned this from my mentor, is when people ask me what I do. That's the shortest. Hey, what do you do? And I love telling people that I'm an enthusiastic entrepreneurial evangelist.
Nice.
And so when they look at me, they go, well, what is that? And I said, I inspire people to learn how to be the best they can be and become an entrepreneur. And so my thoughts are always around business owners and entrepreneurs. So another saying is people say, well, what do you do? And I say, I basically show people how to make money online. And I'm telling you that those are some good buzzwords right now. It's like, well, make money online. I don't believe in that. And I go, yeah, I know. And a lot of people, you look at the guys that own Yahoo, Google, YouTube, and Facebook, they're all billionaires before the age of 35. Yeah, there's no money to be made on the internet. I totally understand where you're coming from. It's like, come on. It's like you might not know how to make money online, and the people that you hang around don't. But there's people that make money online. Stop being silly.
Yeah, that's where we come in and we change their life around.
Yep. So my whole thing is I just tell people, listen, if I could introduce you to somebody that's helped a lot of people become successful, would you take a look at their training? So, as people are watching this video, Sean and I are partners, man. We're partners, and we're here to be able to help you. So if you reach out to Sean, and maybe there's a link around this video someplace, our training is free. We want to not only allow you in for free, but we want to train you for free. And if you just follow some simple steps on your own time, then guess what? If anyone decides to purchase any of the training or the tools that we have inside that free site, we're going to pay you. We don't even ask you to put in money to make money. So, a lot of people are going, well, this just doesn't make any sense. Well, Amazon did $74 billion last year, so it doesn't have to make sense to you. It just has to make sense. It's working. Don't be one of those individuals just because you don't know what it is, you don't think it works. That's a little silly. You know what I mean? It's like it's working. So Sean can help guide you through that without a shadow of a doubt.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. I really appreciate you making time to do this interview with me today, Robert. I know you're super busy with all the clients and everyone and everything else going on a daily basis. So I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, you bet. If for people that are going to be your audience, and you and I had a nice chance to talk over the times, and as we get to know each other, let me share with people why I do what I do. Because there's going to be a group of people out there that's going, well, man, if this guy makes millions of dollars, why is he doing this? It's really simple. It's me making a promise and a commitment to my Creator. At my lowest times in my life, here I am on workman's comp. I got a young son, Robert Hollis Jr., that was 6 years old at the time, and I couldn't provide for my family. I was so broke I couldn't pay attention. I was so desperate that I didn't know how to make money to take care of the people that I love. And it was during that time, and my knees all messed up, and I get down on the knee that I have left, and I just said, dear Heavenly Father, please, please, get me out of this situation. They told me I can't be a mechanic. What am I going to be? Help me. And I just made a commitment at that point in time, Sean, that if he helped me get out of this situation, like we all make the deals, you get me out of this, I'll make sure to tithe, I'll make sure to go to church, I'll make sure to do that. When he pulled me out of the gutter where I was and allowed me to be able to do it, I made a promise to him that I would spend the rest of my life sharing this with other people. And so he honored his deal, and he's also blessed me way further than I ever could dream or imagine, and I just love it. There was a phrase that I grabbed onto when I read Think and Grow Rich, Sean, and it was a thing in there that said, get a big dream. You want to find the biggest dream you can possibly find. And so I pulled one out that I knew I couldn't fulfill in my life here on earth. Is I'm going to do my very, very best to outgive God. I'm going to try to outgive God. And I just, when I tell people that, they sort of flip out and they go, well, you're never going to accomplish that. I said, hey, but it's cool to live my whole entire life trying to do it.
That is powerful. That is very powerful.
So if you want to think big, that's thinking big, And another thing that I'd love to give a gift to you, Sean, and the other people out there is I'm going to send a link to Sean on one of the books that really changed my life. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. It's also by Wallace Wattles. And on that link, I also have not only the free book, but the free audios, but also the movie The Secret that was actually out of that book. And so I got a little video there, so I'm going to send that link to Sean. And if you guys, want that, free stuff for free, just reach out to Sean and say, hey, listen, I want that info. So I really, really thank you, Sean, for taking the time. I know you're a busy, busy man. A lot of people say, hey, you know what, I'm busy. We're talking to a man that, has 3 jobs and also making sure that he takes care of the people that he loves. So I'm never too busy for someone like you, Sean. That's a fact.
Thank you, Robert. It's always an honor.
So God bless and have a great day. Let me know if you need anything. Reach out to Sean. He'll steer you through it. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. Me, Scott Kloster, Melody Ryba. We also got Robert Hollis Jr., my son. He's made over $1 million with me teaching him these principles. I think he's he's 32, 33 in April. So now I'm a new grandpa. So I'm pretty pumped, and I'm looking to help each and every one of you. So God bless and have a great day.
You too, Robert. God bless. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.